Welcome back to the Caffeinated Church Conference. Let's talk about websites. Your website is a high priority. It's not enough to simply keep it functional and up to date. Your website is where you tell the world who you are, what you do, and why it matters. Visitors will go to your website before ever physically visiting your church. If your website is like a big front door, is your website ready for visitors, or is it off its hinges and covered in cobwebs? I don't need to tell you how important a website is to your church. I do need to plead with you, however, to actually implement one that represents your church and serves your needs. Your website is vital to communication to and from your church body, as well as being attractive to visitors to encourage them to engage with your church. Here's a picture of what Yahoo used to look like, once upon a time. Styles change. Beware of perfection paralysis. Don't get bogged down into not making changes to your website because you want to make sure it's the perfect design. Make changes over time and evolve. If a change to your site would be better than not making a change to your site, make it. Let's get back to the purpose for your website. It has to carry a careful balance between being a tool for visitors to learn about how to engage at a very basic level, such as attending worship services and learning about next steps to engage in your church community, to being a showcase and information hub for your members to grow deeper through opportunities of growth, learning, and serving. Don't forget your visitors, but also don't forget your members. I'll admit, it's difficult to figure out how to walk that very careful line and organize your pages and content to provide information that can be easily found. Let's talk about some things visitors are looking for on your church website. First, let's explore the obvious: your location and when your services are. Is this information apparent, or do you have to sift through a few pages first to find this information? Is your content up to date on your website, or do you have events from 2 years ago still listed? Are the opportunities and ministries presented on your site an accurate representation of your church? Do you have a welcome message that invites visitors to join you for worship? Or do you give information about where a visitor can park, what they can expect in a worship service, or what the style of worship is? Do you include pictures of people in worship? Visitors will actually study these photos to see if they fit in, if they can wear jeans, or if the church is more formal, for instance. Check out the website worksheet for a great article that asks some of these very questions, and take a few minutes to discuss as a group. In doing this exercise with the church once, the church realized it didn't even have its address on the website, anywhere. That would make it hard for a visitor to come to a worship service, wouldn't it? Go ahead and feel free to pause this video. Take the time that you need to discuss your website. Pull up your website on your phone or a laptop and imagine you're a visitor. Put yourself in their shoes and see if your website answers all of the questions they might have. If your website isn't built for your unique needs or doesn't allow for easy updating, your site will never be what you want it to be. Volunteers will be frustrated with updating content, and your site will end up collecting dust. Find a website platform that can grow as you grow, be fully customizable to fit your needs, and allow easy content, graphic, and design changes. I've seen churches get taken advantage of by web developers. They promise great flexibility and all sorts of bells and whistles, but when it comes down to it, you must pay them again and again to make changes to your website because the platform or programming is designed in such a way that you have to return to them as a customer. That's great business for them. That's bad for you. Basically, the goal is to have a dynamic website that you and your staff can manage on your own. Who wants to call a website provider every time a change is needed and be charged for it? If the tools are in your hands to make changes immediately and customize as you need, you'll find an unparalleled freedom in your website management. Find a content management system, you'll hear it also called a CMS, that works best for your needs and can flex as your needs grow and change. I'm going to run through some features that you should have available through your CMS, whether or not you have capacity to do everything or not. Again, needs change over time. There are many features you should consider for your CMS. You should be able to easily update content and graphics. Keyword here is easy. You should be able to add, delete, rearrange pages as you need, limitless and without the need to constantly call your website provider to do it for you. You should have the ability to assign roles and allow ministries to edit their ministry area on the website. Your website CMS should allow for functionality with a familiar Microsoft Word-like interface. This is often referred to as WYSIWYG, or what you see is what you get. You should be able to easily change font styles, font colors, paragraph styles, bulleted lists, and insert and upload pictures easily. Your website should be able to link to any document, such as PDFs, Word documents, graphic files, or other pages on your website or to external websites. Your website should allow the ability to schedule posts or launch pages automatically. Your website CMS should provide calendar features for your church events or individual ministry events. Your CMS should also easily allow your sermons to be uploaded with the customizable audio player. Your website should have the ability to create different forms for registrations for events, newsletter lists, or prayer requests, and you should be able to collect responses into Google Docs or Microsoft Excel for easy use in your event management. Your website should present options for photo galleries and slideshows with the ability to easily organize your photos. Your CMS should have blogging tools so that your church staff can write about upcoming activities or share testimonies or devotionals. You should be able to create surveys to engage your church body in getting feedback or even asking questions. Also, your website should have embedded video functionality in both the structure of the site as well as embedded videos on a page. And lastly, your CMS should be optimized for search engines and compatible with current HTML5 standards. I'm not going to go into all the details of each of these areas, but it is important to know that these are fairly basic features that should be built into your site for your use. Years ago, websites were built strictly for browsing the web on a desktop computer. Over time, tablets and mobile devices gained a significant market share. The web industry scrambled to optimize websites to meet the demands of a growing popularity of a variety of devices all at once. Large computer displays, smaller laptop screens, mobile phones with touch screens, tablets, and even large screen phones. The programming of websites had to change from sliced designs and CSS, cascading style sheets, to what we now call responsive design. In a nutshell, a responsive design responds to the device it's being viewed on. It stacks images and modifies the size of the font to accommodate the device. Remember once upon a time when you had your first smartphone and you pull up all sorts of websites and then you had to pinch and expand with your fingers and then go back and forth to read an article? It was hard to do. It was awkward. And those websites weren't optimized for mobile. They weren't responsive websites. A website that isn't optimized for mobile is on the borderline of unusable on a smartphone. Google has been the biggest instigator of change in this area, even going so far as penalizing websites in search results if they aren't mobily optimized. You can find out if your website is a responsive website by going to this link here. Obviously, you now know that having a responsive website is important. The internet has changed a lot, and it'll continue to change. For many churches who've not made the change over the years, it's vital that you upgrade your website. For some, it's a major upgrade. But lesson to learn here is that you must budget for your website, and you must be willing to change to keep up with the technology. I'm not talking about big money here. You can do all of this for the cost of a new coffee pot. I guarantee you that if your coffee pot stopped working at the church, you'd find a way to buy a new one. Same goes for your website. Websites are a passive medium. Your church members don't wake up on Monday mornings and think, I wonder what's going on at my church this week. I should visit the website. Now, e-newsletters and social media are active mediums, however. They reach out in their various ways through an email in an inbox or as an ad or inclusion in your social media consumption. In the next two videos, we'll explore how both partner with your website to engage and draw in users. Websites, e-newsletters, and social media are three powerful tools in your communications arsenal. They work together in a dance or in an ensemble, however you'd like to visualize it, supporting one another. Thanks for watching.